Welcome back to the Retro Sports Gamer channel. We're going to take you on a journey through Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run in this season I got going with the Seattle Mariners. Let's take a quick look at the standings. I'm 11-5. Actually tied for first place with the Rangers and the Angels. Best record tied with those two teams in the American League. It's a 26-game season. We will get this done eventually. And Marlins look like the best team in baseball with that 11-4 record. And we're going to get to it. How's everyone doing tonight? Let me know if you show up in the chat. Get a lot of people talking about Ken Griffey Jr.'s Slugfest is the game that people really like to play on the Super Nintendo as far as the Ken Griffey games. I've even seen some people say that the 64 one's the best. I haven't really played that one much. What's up, Filippo? Thanks, Pat. And we're playing Anaheim again, so I don't even have to update the overlay here. So how you guys doing tonight? What do you want to talk about? You know, baseball, it's called America's pastime. It's one of those games where, you know, there's not the most action going on out of all the major sports in the U.S., so it gives you a lot of time for talk, conversations. I've been to a lot of baseball games, mostly White Sox, Chicago White Sox games. Some games completely locked into. Other games barely paying attention. It all just depends who you're there with, what the mood is, what the year is. It might get through. Oh, and my fastest runner's out. Sean Hannity, Fox News, shilling the vaccine. Not surprised. Not surprised. I mean, he is on the Fox News network. Never really trusted the guy. Black hair or gray hair. Get that. Nice shot down the line, but it's not going to do it. What's up, James Bond? Let's see if I can get on early. I'll try to crank one out of the park here. Nope. Almost got out at second. Yeah, haven't been streaming as much, but try to make an appearance every once in a while. Green Magic, Sean, even the Lumberjack Cracks back on the channel a little bit, playing some retro sports games like we do. I don't think I'll ever be growing out of these games. This is pretty much where I'm stuck at. Won't be moving forward with the next gen. I do have the Nintendo Switch. That'll probably be the last one. Once my daughter's old enough to really be interested in some video games, it'll be fun to go explore that library with all the used games, since it is a popular system. You could physically buy the games, which is key versus buying digital everything. He's out of there. But yeah, every day's a roller coaster. You know, before 2020, would say things were more routine. You knew what to expect. Not so much anymore. Yeah, on the 4th of July stream, I just went for it, you know, because I just don't know, like, especially in these days, what people in the U.S. even think they're celebrating when they don't even understand their own freedoms. So, yeah, it had to be said. Oh, no, in the gap. He's not testing third, though. People don't realize it, but they are giving themselves up to a medical mafia system. Whether they realize it or not, hopefully they realize it. I've been here talking about it for almost a year and a half now. Can't control what people do. But in the U.S., I mean, everything that people are choosing to do, it's mostly by consent. If you stood up for yourself, you wouldn't have what you have today. Thanks, James Bond. I appreciate it. I try to use discernment the best I can when looking at reality in the way that I do. And some people don't like to hear it, including some guys that contribute to the channel with me. But you know what? The ones that have stuck around, they know that it's all about freedom of speech. They do their thing, I do my thing, and then we move on. That was a 1-2-3 inning. Yeah, what's up, Metal Face Doom? Yeah, I don't know what the best course of action is. Really, just I'm really. What's up, Alex? I'm really thrown off most of the things that I used to care about. I've always, for the last 10 years, I've always had one foot out the door of the system. Now I'm just hanging on by a thread. Even though I'm completely implanted in here, in the Chicagoland area, but that's not where my mind's functioning at. Taking steps to do things differently. So one of the things that I think about often, probably since last summer, is get that dinner off the stove. Is like just trying to grow my own food, having some land away from where they really try to control you. I mean, just thinking about something simple like the car in front of your house in Chicago. They want you to get a city sticker that costs over $100, and if you don't get it, then they give you tickets, right? So that sort of stuff I don't really pay attention to anymore. I mean, that's just harassment. We'll see if it comes to bite me in the back end. But if I was on a house and with some land, country roads, whether it's dirt or gravel, no one's gonna be caring about these stickers, you know. But that's one thing I want to do, is like try to grow some food, even potentially have a chicken coop. And yeah, so we drive to this farm. One friend told us about it, All Grass Farms. And you know, it's a regenerative farm where they have the chickens feeding off the land, you know, eating worms, bugs, whatever. The purest chicken aids, everything that they sell there is either from their farm or a neighboring farm. So just like going to the source, not knowing really where the food comes from at all, you know. You could be getting organic food, not organic food. But some of it's traveling way further than it needs to be. You know, no long hair, no beard either. Clean shaven dork. I gotta see this new look. Get it out. Ah, it's not out of here. Still struggling here at the beginning. And no one's perfect, so yeah, sure, I eat at the places around my neighborhood some. Try to support the local businesses that don't try to control you when you walk in, you know. They don't try to make you wear a mask or any of this stuff. They just welcome you in for business, and that's it. So those are the places I go to. Yeah, I mean, it seems like time is running out on all of these states, but yeah, in a free state as possible. I do think Florida is too good to be true. It seems like a setup for something. I had another friend share something with me that when what's his face, DeSantis, when he wrote something in law mandates, whatever, you don't need to follow those anyways, they're just words anyways, but when he banned the vax passports, like there's something that they didn't take away where they can potentially force vaccinate the people in the state. I don't know if we get to that level, but you know, it seems like we're creeping our way towards that. But in my area, the places that look good are, you know, Indiana, someplace in Indiana. I've been going a lot to Wisconsin. Wisconsin seems very free. Lard beef sandwiches. Yeah, that stuff doesn't grow on trees. So, limited damage. That stuff does not grow on trees. But yeah, I've seen, so James Bond says, society's too far gone. Yeah. And I just, like, I've been showing my daughter some of the Power Rangers, and I'm watching the episodes. And, like, once you have a certain awareness, you could pull truth out of a lot of just, like, Power Rangers episodes. There's one episode where the Blue Ranger is has a spell cast on him, and he's fearful of the fish monster because he had, like, a, fish bit him when he was a child. They show, like, a scene. So then they cast a spell on him, and he's fearful. He can't fight that battle because there's a spell casted on him. So, the reason I'm bringing this up is because in 2020, you see how, like, they could cast a spell with, these hypnotic TVs, smartphones, and get the third. And actually people buy into it, so they're, like, too fearful to just freaking leave the house, do anything, I see it, people, like, 2 doors down, the lady's still double masking, kicking her gate open. Like, I thought even the official narrative was that you can't get the boogeyman disease on surfaces, but when you cast that spell and you keep it continuous, the stuff's not fake. There's another Power Rangers episode called Z-Waves, and the monster is like a giant microphone. So he's like broadcasting, and he's waving his stick, and he's mind controlling the people of Angel Grove, and they're walking around like zombies. It's like, people think this is like some type of fictional, show, and it is, but they're still showing you like things that they're capable of doing. If you can imagine it in this reality, it could be something you could do. 0 out of 10 for Michigan. Used to love going to Michigan, but I feel like you do. Like I made one trip there last summer, and usually go to the west side of Michigan, do some wine tasting. Over the years, they got some breweries. Make our way up to Saugatuck, visit South Haven, Bridgman, some of these towns. And the first exit that has wine tastings, exit 6. So on the way back, we stopped there. It was with my dad and my daughter. And this was last summer. And we didn't go in with the masks. We were the only ones. The people at the wine tasting, I mean, they're not bartenders, wine baristas, I guess. And all the customers, and they were so intense there that they actually didn't say anything to us, but like the customers were lifting the mask up and down in between sips. I'm like, what is going on here? But then you go even closer to Chicago and Wisconsin, Lake Geneva, and they're not doing any of that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, Michigan is, whew. It is. It's been a great area to me. I'm not knocking it overall, but in these days, it's a place I don't want to go back to. And it's just the businesses complying to it too. Like I think one of our favorite places, the Virtue Wine or Cidery. They have, it's like a huge kind of like farm area, cool place. Play bags. They got a stage for a concert. They got animals on the farm, and they're like, no, you got to wear a mask outside. You got to go in this bubble. You have to be from the same household to sit in the bubble together. So I couldn't like go with my parents because they check your ID. It's like, wow, I'm never going here again. Like if you really are enforcing this. What's up, Channel God Gaming? Dwayne, how you doing? I'm going to read that one in a second, Pat. So 1-1 game here. So the Indiana court ruling says, because Indiana University was fighting it, they're saying they can mandate a inoculation. So it's important to understand the difference between the word vaccination and inoculation, because inoculation is this, it's basically the same thing except with the intent to do harm. And that's what's going on. So that's the word that should really be used. But, well, we know it's a spellcraft. It's word magic. What's up, Adam? It really is disturbing to see how far the tentacles have gone with this agenda. It's pretty much ruined all major sports leagues for me. Still love playing sports, will play these games and have good memories growing up playing these games, but I'm just completely checked out of any of these major sports leagues. It's inorganic. What's up, Chiefsy boy? Good to see you on here. So let's see if we can pull away here. Big fly Not quite enough on it. Get a double, though. Well, some of the guys do play at D-men, but Mort runs the show over there now, and he doesn't want to stream, so they don't stream on the channel, but they do play there. Slash cannon. Arms are big. So yeah, I don't think that will come back. I mean, there's opportunity at the bar we played the Retro Sports Gamer Championship at, but ultimately the guys that have come out to play in all the weekly events, it's something that they'll have to reach out for me to make it happen. I'm not gonna force the issue. That's good, Pat, and that's what it should do, you know. You can't just keep going on like nothing's wrong. Like, it just aggravates me. Even people just being oh man, just stuck in the distractions. And honestly, a lot of this stuff is geared towards men. Like, less men see this than women, that I'm noticing. Like, the women are more aware and intuitive than most of the men. The men are easier to distract with sports, video games, gambling. Almost like the Homer Simpson representation of some men. They fall into that category. But the ones that are not laying down are very aware and intuitive. Oh, he's out of there. Come on. Yeah, they're just going to keep the spell going. I mean, it's a forced paradigm shift. So there's no intent in letting up. People are going to mistake basic symptoms, flu-like symptoms, cold symptoms, for being extremely sick with a disease. And that's just where they're going to be at. 24/7 Charles Oakley. Do cocaine. You think the oak tree was on cocaine? I mean, I don't really know. I don't do too much research into these athletes and what they were into while they were in these leagues. But a lot of them, they don't end up too well. I mean, when you're playing at this level, a lot of them have their ego pumped to oblivion. And, you know, when they reach a certain point and they don't have those people around them to be in awe with their talents and talking them up and caring about everything they do, and then they just, like, the leagues don't want them anymore. They don't know how to manage their money. They don't know what to do with themselves, and they end up in sticky situations. Into aggression. Yeah, there were the aggressors. All right, bases loaded. This is a big at bat. Come on, drop. 2 outs, so they're running. That's good. Get the lead. Yeah, they're definitely going for that segregation. They're going discrimination by that. So we're basically going back to the days of Jim Crow laws, except you're not going to be divided by skin color. You'll be divided by your willingness to take medical procedures. And anyone who can't see that is not going to be a friend to many. What's up, Felipe? Personally, I know a lot of people who've taken these new jabs. I definitely willing to hang out with them. I'm not worried about it. But I'm really questioning if they're going to reverse course, if they're asked to do boosters in 2022. Don't swing unless down the middle. Oh, I'm hacking at this game. I'm just going for it. I saw that in Canada they don't want you to go there unless you've got your inoculations. That's not surprising. Liberal, peaceful, communist Canada. Good meme going around. Goldfish in filthy water. Answer isn't to drug the fish's symptoms causing more issues. It's to clean the bowl. Our society's a toilet bowl. You're right about that. It's like everything that I feel is that I should, if I can't change, which there's not a lot that I could change when they got certain numbers in their favor. It's like you just want to isolate, be off on an island and do the things the way you want to do them. You also want to be part of a community, but like I said, I'm not separating myself from people who are getting these shots. But if they're going to keep going with these agendas moving forward, I have to find the people who are willing to combat what's going on. This is a beautiful game. Jack Booty coming up. Wow, he got me on the outside. I never wanted to go to Canada. Now I want to go way, way less. Yeah, that's one of the many possibilities. For sure is the sterilization. It's a wait and see, It's not. If it was just something that's going to kill most people, then people would catch on and they wouldn't do it. John Booty, that was a bad inning. But as I have to be honest though, just as almost a year and a half later, I don't know anyone that's passed away from COVID. I also don't know anyone who's received the inoculation that has passed away either. Now, I do know that it has caused harm, which is why I call it an inoculation, because many people who've gotten it either have told me they got a rash or they didn't feel well for 3 days and it was horrible. So that is harm if you're saying you were miserable at the very least. But yeah, we're waiting to see what happens here. Yeah. I mean, they've always, a lot of these freedom people have always pushed the food shortage thing, something you should be prepared for. It does seem more and more real by the day, but I do wonder how far they would go with that, especially in the U.S., because that would start to shatter some illusions for some people. Kind of need to keep the food flowing because they need the government to trust them. And if they're creating a situation where there's no food, that's gonna wake up even more people. Oh man, he didn't run. I didn't know who Biz was, Alex. Man. Oh, he's actually safe. Ken Griffey, only 1 for 4. He's due up for a big home run, I think. It's deep, but not deep enough, I could tell. I don't think meat is evil, but you don't need meat to survive. I know this for a fact because I haven't ate it in over 10 years now. I just think there's more peaceful ways to eat. And if you research what the parasitic controllers are into, they're into things like spirit cooking and cannibalism, which they would like you to be closer to what they are. And that's a kind of in-between thing. All right, let's see if we can close it out in a complete game. Got the first one. Mickey D's. Mickey D's is not the way to go. I mean, how much meat do you actually hunt, Road Gamer? That's the thing. Like, I always say, I respect the hunter more than the person who just slams 3 meat meals a day from the grocery store who wouldn't actually do it themselves if they had to do it. Which is why I don't do it, because I wouldn't want to go through that process. But yeah, you start slitting lambs' throats and cows and go through that whole process, you let me know how fun that is. Let me know if it changes your opinion. Just a friend? Oh yeah, I think I heard that. I don't eat fish either. Now fish is, they're not as similar to us as a pig or a cow. Some of the land animals would be. But, and I've in the past when I've eaten fish, felt some good energy after I eat it, like from the omegas in the fish. So there's definitely energy there to be had if you eat it. I don't do it. Almost every day. Oh, that's hilarious. So that was a big win against the Angels. Shane Portis, wow, the pitcher. 2-1, kind of a boring game. Sometimes I get some big runs going and homers. This one, not so much. Yeah, people need to look in the mirror and see like how weird they're becoming. I'll play one more. Well, for 9 years I was eating vegan. Now I eat vegetarian. I do think, and it's hard to admit, but this is how you grow. Is like the vegan diet is the way they're doing it. Who's investing in it is the New World Order diet. So it's just kind of another thing to get people radicalized over. But you could still eat some things from animals without doing harm. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Yeah. Then just don't go to sports games, you know. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with sports. Like they tell you the Houston Astros won a World Series knowing what pitch was coming because they had webcams and they were hitting garbage cans. And then people are fully invested in these sports teams when they tell you that they're cheating, and you still care about it. These guys making millions of dollars. Like, why? You know now that they're telling you on ESPN that it's rigged. They cheat. Do you do that, Alex? It's tough. It's tough to, be on the straight and narrow that much. Well, there's a movie you should watch, Rogue Gamer. It's called Soylent Green. Watch Soylent Green. It says it's 2022. They kind of forced the populace to be poor. And then there's this substance that they eat called Soylent Green that the government feeds them because they're starving. And in the movie, you find out what they're actually feeding the people. Mariners, 12-5, finally on top. Big win against the Angels. Oh, so you know about it. Okay. Yeah, even the cleanest of the clean guys, like, I think the only thing that was watchable to me in the COVID era was the first Notre Dame game I watched. It wasn't totally over the top with the propaganda. Tirico and Dungy did a good job avoiding most of it, but when they broke out into the fight song and then spread out for social distancing and they were talking about it, I'm like, wow, these guys are going way above and beyond. Like, they were just all over each other, sweating on each other, tackling. Like, who are you kidding? I didn't know about that, Alex. It's a good fun fact. Yeah, no, exactly. The Patriots cheated, yet you still watch it and care so much and get emotionally invested. Like, they tell you that they're cheating. Like, why do you care? And then you're gonna bet on it, and there's more incentive to rig it than ever because people could just bet from their smartphone. So they're going to rig it, and people are going to lose money, and they're going to be caring like it's an organic game that is being played, and they don't know who's going to win or lose. Pretty much what they're doing at this point, is they're watching the bets come in. And if they need to fix it one way or another, a certain game, I think the call's going to be put in for it to be fixed that way. I do not eat chicken. I have been eating some chicken eggs, though. Biblically, I've found at least 5 Bible verses that support not eating meat, actually. So, if you're into looking for truth there's some verses that support it. Did they do that? Is that this year, or did they do that last year? Was he a rave fanatic? Oh yeah, no, I like this music too. I see what you're saying. The Brew Crew. Let's take them on. He caught mad fish. And playing a National League team. So 11-5 means I got 12 more games to go in the season. So get one more in. And call it a stream. Brewers, I mean, the teams are pretty representative of how they were in baseball, and the Brewers were bad in the 90s. So I do know that the Bucks are playing the Suns in the finals. Besides that, I don't know anything else going on. I did hear that they were in the series lead. Like I said, I really don't watch any of the sports anymore. If I go, because I still go to the bar by my house to talk to some people. If it's on there, I'll still glance at it, but I haven't been going at times where NBA games are on. You almost died from what? The Brewers being a National League team still feels weird to me. See, I never saw them as a American League team. I always remember them as a National League team. Is his brother on the team? Oh yeah, someone brought it up to me today that one of my friends, he's like, you remember the Jordan flu game in the finals? He's like, in this day and age, that would be like, he'd be responsible for murdering people out on the court. That wouldn't be something heroic. You're going to put people at risk to play a basketball game? There we go. Griffey out of the park. That's how you start it. Well, their season started about around Christmas time, so switched it up. Well, whatever team wins, Bucks, Suns, I do know either team is not the teams that are usually winning NBA championships, so. Oh, there's another one. Get it out of here. Cranking them out. Yeah, NL Central staple. Yeah, you can't be playing with no symptoms these days. Oh, one more? Back to back to back? There we go. AL East, this was before the realignment. There used to be just 2 divisions in each league, East and West. Before the wild cards. That's hardcore. You win the division or you're out of there. Oh, Slash Cannon, he looks like he has the big muscles, but he just doesn't knock it out of the park. With 4 runs in the first, I'll take it. Jack Booty gets a hit. I also preferred in the NFL when they had 3 divisions in each conference. The 4 divisions in each conference is kind of bogus. You always end up with at least one team winning the division that does not deserve to be in the playoffs. Ditka's big around these neck of the woods. I don't think he's catching on with the youngsters, though. If you get under, 30 these days, Ditka's not going to really stick with you like he did for anyone 30 plus in Chicago that's into sports. Oh, yeah, anything for entertainment. So, even, the UFC is big now, right? So, it's not organic in this system that it came to be big. And I'll tell you why. It was founded in 1993, and then in 1994, it's being talked about on a Friends episode, which is the biggest TV show, or one of the biggest at the time. Basically, Monica's boyfriend says he wants to be in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and they even go as far to show a fight in the ring in one of the episodes. So it's that's gonna make it create some awareness there if you put it on one of the biggest shows. So it didn't just explode out of nowhere. 1984. Oh, don't bring up those numbers together. That's a trigger. The National League, the Cubs destroyed the East Division and had to go up against the Padres, who won the West Division. Padres won that series. Oof. Taking it on. Oh yeah, Ditka. He loved Ricky Williams. He'd trade the whole team away for him. And Ricky Williams was pretty good, but he never really did that well in the Saints. His best years were on the Dolphins. Ditka, such a showman. Come on. If Ditka's coaching a mini Bears versus regular sized Redskins, I'd say it'd be close. It would be close. Dropping, yes, but oh wow, he's throwing home. That's a hit. Bears 103, Mini Giants 4. Viper had a big homer last time up. Let's get through. Chicago. Chicago's just not going to be what it once was, you know. Sweet home Chicago. Those days are gone. I hate to say it, but it's over. Jack Booty gapping? No. Who's the ringleaders? You know, I used to spend a lot of time trying to figure that out. Like, who is on the top of this pyramid controlling? But, you know, at this point, it doesn't really even matter because they showed you how far the tentacles reach. Not only do they reach in every country across the land that they tell us about, but it's going to affect your local convenience store, bar, school, whatever it is you're doing, your next door neighbors. Like, they're all affected by the agendas. So really, it comes down to you just got to be truthful with yourself, and you got to see through some of the deception. If you're not willing to be truthful with yourself and stand up for yourself, then come on, just get this guy out. Get him off the base. He's out of there. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you know, the major players in it. You got Freemasonry running wild. You got the Vatican, you got Jesuits, you got the Zionists. I mean, Knights of Templar. There's so many, Skull and Bones, but at the end of the day, it's all intertwined into one agenda now, which is, you know, the one world government. So you got to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen, because it's not a one world government under peace, unfortunately. I heard Chicago's a great city. Yeah, no, I mean, it all depends on the neighborhoods. It's a huge city. Yeah, no, it's not your governors and your Dr. Fauci and Joe Biden. It's definitely not those guys. They're definitely the public puppets, you know. They want anger to be directed at those people, and it does work, but you got to see it for what it is the puppet show. I don't know exactly why he's Green Magic, why he picked that name. It might, I'm sure Don Makowski has something to do with it. The N really stand for. All indications is that it's new. But yeah, so that is a good eye opener, Pat. Honestly, is that you don't need to worry about chasing where the control's coming from. If you're truthful for to yourself, and you're willing to stand up for yourself, your family, and your friends for things you believe in and to be a certain way, that really is the core of what matters. Because all of these entities are trying to get you to be something you're not. Yeah, pretty much, Alex. That's how it goes. Once you're NWO, you're NWO for life. It's and then they're not like they use everything for programming, so it's not outside of what they've done to use wrestling to program people. There's one with Macho Man and Hulk Hogan where they're talking about the Twin Towers crumbling down in like the late 80s. Forget who they're up against. I think one of them's Big Boss Man. I don't know who the other guy is. But there's a clip of that, like, programming what's to come. I don't think so. I don't think the Hulkster loves you, brother. I mean, you're idolizing guys who don't really respect themselves. You know, once it's not the muscle and wrestling part. You know, it's what they're willing to do as part of the show. That's the problem. Out of there. I mean, I grew up watching the Attitude Era in WWF, and they definitely pushed the limits there. Yeah, that's what they do call that a mask. Japan only wants natural products in their bodies. Whew. I could see it. That's good. I mean, I don't know what goes on there, so I won't speak to it. I know the Olympics are supposed to be in Tokyo. They're not supposed to have fans there. It's like another crock of crap. Like, why watch the Olympics? And they're also intertwined with everything going on. Yes, Alex. And you know, if it's just an isolated promo, it wouldn't mean much at all. You'd be like, yeah, that's probably coincidence. But when you splice it together with like 60 other examples in one video, you're like, okay, they got Cookie Monster on the magazine, like eating down the Twin Towers in the front cover. Then you see why it's, you know, it's just little Easter eggs they throw in there. Which wrestling you can't stand at all? Oh, you can't stand Shawn Michaels? I did like Shawn Michaels at the time. Who couldn't I stand? I mean, I really did not like Goldust. That always, like, freaked me out, his character. Because he was early on pushing the weird makeup and sexuality stuff, cross-dressing, like, what? He's one. I'm trying to think who else. And that's good, Pat. You really want to keep traditions true. to the family. If they could break down the traditions and make you like new stuff, then what do you have left? You know, you can be coerced to follow new traditions and rituals, which is what they're getting people to do now. The lockdown, get your inoculation ritual. Coming to a Walgreens near you. I'm not dressing as Gold Dust. Yeah, Gold Dust, I guess, is the best example I got. Griffey, another big... No. Oh, man, the base running. I wish the base running AI was a little smarter. I don't send them just because it's really hard to tell if they're going to catch it on a line drive or not. So I just let it play out. Big pop-up, but not enough on it. I don't know what's going on with wrestling these days. Are they having live events? Or are they still doing the weird screens in the background? Face painting, it's another form of a mask, really. Because you can't see the face that's under there. You could see the structure. But, you know, we have like built-in recognition of faces. You can always recognize a face usually way before you'll remember someone's name. If you forgot it, you'll be like, I know this person. I've seen them before. Once you start adding face paint and masks and all this stuff into the equation, well, you don't know anybody anymore. Because you don't really know who they are. Well, I mean, not all traditions are meant to stick around forever. You know, some are better to leave in the past. Definitely. And they got a little rally going. Yeah, technological advancements are moving us into a dark territory quick. So they can stop with those. People back in attendance now at WWE. Well, that's good to hear. Little slicer. Little left side. Oh, man. Laptops, technology, all day long. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, to live your life by the screen instead of figuring out things for yourself in reality. It's not looking too good. Yeah, and Pat, those were the ones that I was more saying should stick around. But, I mean, you see that even break down from these generations, like, oh, this family believes in this religion, they go to church or wherever, and then children don't want it. They want The Simpsons instead. Madden 03, I'll get to it eventually. In the winter time, I'm more motivated to play some games. Not so much in the summertime. Yeah, America, they're ready to, even when things weren't way out of control, they are ready for the next fad, the next bandwagon to be on, and just soak up the culture so much so that becomes their tradition. Just whatever's hot, you indulge in. QB challenge. Not playing that later. I do like that game, especially for the QB challenge in the game, so I could see it happening soon. Well, not soon. It'll happen again. Just I got to get the itch for it. Hurt your feelings, report me. Are people waking up? That's a good question. I would say definitely yes, some have really woken up to some new realities they weren't seeing before. But I think a lot of people, till they see their next American lockdown, won't fully get it. You know, things have been pretty good for the last month or so in Chicago, but it's not here to stay. You can easily forecast that. I mean, World Economic Forum, the Great Reset's planned till 2030. Rockefeller Operation Lockstep has a good, intense 5-year plan. BBC was already saying last year this was, they had graphics. This is what the world will look like in 2025. We're still recovering from the virus. They knew back then. Oh, good crack on the bat, but just not enough. Different things will shatter people's illusions. That's why we're talking about earlier, like the food shortages. I mean, that would definitely wake more people up here. Dan Reeves, bushel of carrots on the bench? Maybe. Hard to know. I almost know as much as Rogue Gamer. That's true. I mean, the thing is, when you admit you know very little, then you continue to know more. And sometimes you're wrong. There's stuff I'm saying right now where I go back a year later, be like, wow, I was on point on all these things, but I was way off on this and that. But if you're not willing to admit those mistakes and grow from being wrong and failure, then I don't know what to tell you. Be living a lie. John Elway, how he walks. He walked right into the Hall of Fame. Strutting his stuff. goes. Slash cannon. Base running. You're amazed YouTube hasn't dropped the hammer. Yeah, I'm wondering when I'm gonna get my first blocked video. Still hasn't happened from commentary. It's definitely happened from songs in the background or whatever. A little dribbler. Oh, a little slowdown. That was the game slowing down. Elmer's glue. Sticking somewhere. Yeah. Make it a baker's dozen. They attack the 12 people of misinformation. The dirty dozen. That's how you know it's getting real. The one that I follow most from that dirty dozen is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. And I've known about her for like 10 years. It's like the first time I saw her. And she's always been someone studying vaccines, and if they're actually like the ones previous to what's going on now, if they're actually good for people. And she was outspoken that they weren't for the longest time. So you know, she's hitting so many major chords now that they have to ridicule and make fun of her on Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert show. 12 people. 12 solid people watching. That's all we need. The dirty dozen. Yeah, Johnny Elway, he, you know, I don't know what was up with him. What was his best skill? He could run a little bit when he was younger. Pretty accurate. My pitcher's tired. See if he can get through this batter. What are the new video platforms you guys like to look at? Is it BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey? Oh yeah, RFK. Yeah, he's also another one that's been outspoken against the dangers of inoculations. Gets another win. Mariners crush the Brewers 9-2. Some big homers in this one. Let's see who the player of the game is. Another complete game from a pitcher. I think it's going to be Griffey with 2 home runs. Knowing his way through vegetables. 27 hits for the Mariners. Wow. Just teeing off. I knew the Brewers weren't that good. It looks, as I play through the season, it looks like I am improving. 13-5 now. Not quite the best record in the league. Marlins still have that, but up there. MLB update. See how we're doing. Batting average in both. Oh yeah, lighting it up. Griffey, the best player in the league right now. See RBIs. No problem for Griffey and the Ramirez twins. Runs. Jose Munoz. Rave time. Get the glow sticks out. It's time to party. Home runs. 15 for Griffey. 10 for Ray Ramirez. Wow. I'm surprised I don't have even 4 with Viper. It's just those 2 guys. Doubles, Griffey. Hits, Griffey. There we go. Viper's got a lot of hits though. 28, just not home runs. Even Slash Cannon up there. Slugging average, don't really care about. And there you go. Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run will automatically save. Don't have to worry about it. I like the long face. Oh, Ichiro. No, Ichiro was not on the team back in these days. So that's gonna do it. We're gonna get through this season. We're closer. 2 big victories tonight. Top record in the American League. Thanks for everyone who stuck around and watched and was chatting in the chat box. It's always good to talk to you guys when I get on here. It makes it worthwhile. And that's about it. Yeah, just in time to see me leave. But yeah, we played a few games, so it will be recorded on there. Oh, Power Rangers and Mind Control. Yeah, spell casting. I mean, it was a slow, steady spell in the U.S., but now it's a different one. All right, so no, I can't play one more. I stretched it out. You know, it's past my bedtime. I gotta get up and parent tomorrow. So, and work. That comes at the very end. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for checking this out. Take care. Have a good one.